What's going on, YouTube world? Welcome back to Little Bit Man Gaming, bringing you a review for BlackLighting Episode 5, Season 4, called The Book of Ruin, Chapter 1, Picking Up the Pieces. First things first is you can hit that like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification button. Also leave a comment down below on what you thought of this past Monday's episode of BlackLighting. And if you want to watch The Flash tonight, because I will be watching The Flash too. But that video will be for another time. But that video will be dropping soon. But yeah, as you're gonna be watching The Flash tonight, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the episode of BlackLighting. And yeah, we gotta go 100 subscribers. So like I have to always say, hit that subscribe button. Do it right now. We always, I want this family to grow, to be bigger. So I need you to, those who are not subscribed, I know you're not subscribed because YouTube tells me. I see the analytics. I see YouTube tells me, hey, you got a nice sizable chunk of people who are not subscribed. I'm gonna need y'all to subscribe. With those who are subscribed, appreciate you. Love you. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep watching, liking, and sharing. And yeah, that's it on that front. With that being said, let's get into it. As always, the quick synopsis. Gabby supports BlackLighting as he departs on a special mission. Grace tries to persuade Anissa to let her guard down. So basically, in front, this episode is about saving Jen. And if you don't know, go watch the episode. Don't watch this because I don't like to usually say spoilers, but for the sake of the video, I have to say what this episode is about. And so go watch the last episode because what happened at the end of the last episode is what the majority of this episode is about, which is the fact that here we are, here we go. Fair warning, just fair warning. But yeah, Jeff's mission is and this is also the first time we see Jeff suit up as BlackLighting. His mission in this case is him going to save Jennifer. And at the end of the last episode, Jennifer went to the atmosphere to absorb energy, but this time it went horribly wrong, and it basically exploded into energy particles floating in the space. And we pick up with them having to figure out what happened. TC informing everybody what happened. So now Jeff has to go. Jeff is the only one who could go up to the atmosphere to absorb Jennifer, to put her in this machine so that it could reform her body. We also learned that they don't have the necessary equipment. I think it was like a conductor, some type of piece of machine that they didn't have. They had the machine, like the machine her body needs to be in, but it was a likelihood that she wasn't even survive. It was like they would say it was a probability that she wasn't surviving. TC using his technopath powers, even the machines even say it's a probability that she won't survive it. They pretty sure that the machine would reconstruct the body, but whether she be alive or not is a whole nother matter. But Jeff having faith, he knows that she's gonna be alive. He could feel it. No, I guess he would say it was in part due to their connection with electricity. He could feel her presence. He could feel her spirit, that she was still there, and that she was calling out to him for help. So Jeff's mission, he finally suits up for the first time as BlackLighting. He needs to go out there and absorb her. They get the piece from Star Labs. Star Labs was the only people who had the piece that they need for the machine. And but how, Gabby would say, but how would they even get it here? It wasn't even be fast enough to say for the mission to be a success. But Jeff says, I know a person who could. I got a friend at Starless who could get it here in the flash. And they end up the Flash, even though not seen, was like one of those moments just like off of Arrow um, where he needed information from the chief, and they showed the Flash use the CGI only, but this time that it wasn't even a CGI Flash. It was just he just ended up getting it there without off screen or not even being seen. Um, but yeah, he got the piece they got the piece they need from Star Labs to help him save his daughter. Jeff will go out there to get Jennifer. He absorbed her, but it looked like he went unconscious from the sheer force of absorbing her power. But they would end up waking him up in the air, and though he's, the velocity and the pressure of him falling from almost outer space back into the earth, it was hard for him to move. But he would end up getting himself on balance, and end up getting himself on balance, and he would end up landing perfectly fine, and to get back to the lab to put Jennifer into the machine. We also get to see that Tobias Wells is keeping the camera. It saw the camera watching him as he landed, and we found out that camera was connected to Tobias, and Tobias is starting to set his plans into motion for his inevitable battle with BlackLighting, and we get to see his plans go into motion and how sinister and dark he could be. What else happened? Anissa throughout the whole episode, pretty much until towards the end, has been ignoring Grace's calls. Because Grace was worried about her. She hadn't heard from her, and every time she called, Anissa keep hanging up the phone, won't even answer the phone. And she would end up confronting. She would go home finally. She after comforting her mother and stuff, who was upset after they got into an argument about Jennifer. The argument in question was that Lynn got into an argument about her being a drug addict again, or a former drug addict, and saying that. Cause I think Lynn made a remark about the fact that they should have told Jeff about her going into the atmosphere to absorb energy, which Jeff took exception to because he was under the impression that not even Lynn knew about this, but Lynn knew about it, and she blamed him because he hasn't been there, and that they needed this wouldn't happen if Jeff wouldn't have still been grieving for Henderson, and that it was time for him to move on. Henderson died a year ago, and Jeff was angry that Lynn was downplaying Henderson's death, and that it make it light of it like it was just something he should easily move on from. And she would tell him like it is because Henderson, Bill died, he didn't die, but you act like you died too. And he said, yes, he did die. I'm going to have to live with that for the rest of my life. But she's saying, they arguing, saying that that's he making everybody else pay for it, and that this would have never happened. He was out there shooting up as BlackLighting to fight with Anissa and Jen. So, after the little argument, they split. She went home and had some wine and food, and Anissa ended up joining her. And this would lead to Grace her finally talking to Grace, and Grace finding out that asking her like it's like she, even though they married and they share in the place, she still act like Grace feel like Anissa is treating her like she's a booty call or some random hookup. She's like, I'm your wife. You supposed to talk to me, about these things. And we find out it's because Anissa's been on her own for so long and been independent for so long. She got this wall and barrier up, and that she got her walls and her guards up. So she apologized to Grace for her the way she acted, that she's a work in progress to finally get used to just being married and letting your guard down or whatnot. But she promised to be better if she just has a little bit of patience with her, that she will eventually let her guard down. Because Grace is concerned that her parents still don't even know that she got married. Only person that did know was Jen. But yeah, it's like Grace had all these concerns, but she persuades. She does, in some ways, persuade Anisha to let her guard down. Yeah, we see the agenda from the police. The police also have their own agenda. They they only know they find the one guy that BlackLighting beat up for killing one of his fellow teacher's son. Finally came into play. We finally see what came of that. The police got a hold to the body after Lala killed him, and they see he had, not only was he beaten and bruised, but he had lightning burn marks on him, and they figured the new police chief tells the guy that grew up with Henderson that was saved by BlackLighting, who was on BlackLighting's side. Wanting BlackLighting to come back. Like I said in the last one, he said put some respect on that man's name. They made him in charge. She forced him to be in charge of the Metahuman Task Force because they figured that it was only two people who could have given him lightning burns like that. Whether or not they was the reason why he died, it was either BlackLighting or Lightning that could have done it. And she chose, after last week, when she said this is all your fault, she ended up naming Lightning as the prime suspect till they had and she said, and it was going to be that way until they have a better, until somebody, basically have a better way of saying, or better way better option than Lightning and BlackLighting. She made a public service announcement placing Lightning as the number one suspect to the death of the guy, which forced Jeff to reveal to everybody that the guy that the lightning burn marks didn't come from Jen, but it came from him when he beat up the guy, which made everybody question him on why, just because you didn't want to put the suit on, but you felt like it was okay to go beat up this guy, and made Jeff finally realize that he was being condescending, or he was playing both sides of the fence. He wanted to use his powers to protect people, but he just didn't want to be BlackLighting, which he really can't. He even asked Gambi at one point in the episode, do you believe Lynn was right that this is all my fault? And he said, Gabby tells him, no, this isn't what happened to Jen. It's not your fault. But BlackLighting has been gone long enough, and that it's time for him to come back, and that the city of Freeland needs BlackLighting because he's the symbol of hope for them. You get to realize that the cops maybe are not on the up and up, and that this new chief may not be the chief that this Freeland needs, and so that she's more dirty and ignorant than good. They end up saving. So the episode finally ends with them actually just finding out the machine, if the machine will work or not, which it did, just not in the way they intended. And what I mean by that was even though it went right in one aspect, it went wrong in another. And this is what led to the statement from the girl who played Jen, that she wasn't going to be in too many episodes this season. And we know why. We know why she won't be, because what went wrong is what led to her possibly not being in. She probably gonna be in maybe. If I would say she probably would be in maybe a couple more, like 2 to 3 more episodes of this season. But yeah, we can understand why she won't be in pretty much throughout the whole, be featured throughout the whole season. She's only gonna be in a handful of episodes, and this episode certainly tells you why. I won't tell you that, but if you, I will let you go watch the episode for it. But what I would give this episode in the whole, I would give it. I give it 8 big ups because it was a decent episode. A lot of eventful things happened. You know, the police going after Lala. I don't think I even talked about that, but yeah, the police ended up they wanted Lala for the death of the mayor. They went after him, but him and BlackLighting had a moment, and he revealed to BlackLighting that he didn't kill the mayor, that he only killed people that has it coming to him. And that he never killed the mayor, that somebody set him up, and BlackLighting believe in him, because he know that's not Lala's style to kill somebody out of cold blood. He said the only person he wanted dead that night was Tobias. But yeah, that it's a good thing. It was a little side stories with that. Everything was cool. I gave it a solid 8 just because. Nothing eventful happened, but it was eventful enough, but it wasn't overall like it wasn't like holy crap things happened. There's only one like, oh man, that was unexpected, but yeah, it was a good episode. I recommend that you go check it out. Yeah, that's all I got. If you could do me a favor, I'm trying to get my finger right. Hit this button right here to subscribe to my channel. Hit this button for more reviews on more of my TV episodes, reviews. Hit one of these other videos just to enjoy the great content that I got on YouTube. And yeah, stay tuned. I will be back with the Flash review. To the next one, peace.